Mayor must be excited.
Let me know when we're ready.
Yeah, he's got to be about 3 years old. Probably 7
Welcome,
years,
everybody.
9 maybe.
It's 6:05 p.m. I'll call this meeting to order for the Redevelopment Agency of Midvale City. Rory, if you would just call roll, please. Who's
Yes,
ready?
Board Member Gettle.
Here.
Brown.
Here.
Robinson. Here. And Glover.
Here,
Board Member Billings is excused.
Thank you so much. All right, we'll move into public comments. Any person wishing to comment on any item not otherwise scheduled for a public hearing may address the Redevelopment Agency of Midvale City at this time by stepping to the microphone and stating their name for the record. Do we have any public comments? Come on up. And again, we just need your name.
My name is Shay. This is the first meeting that I have been to. There's a couple of issues I would like to address with you guys. I have spoken to Dustin a couple of times. The first issue is a fenced-in dog park. We desperately need a fenced-in dog park. We have none in the city of Midvale that is accessible to people such as myself. I have a service dog. I do take her off leash to the parks to do training for her. And it is becoming a problem with bystanders and other cities as well that I'm currently in battle with in court right now for. The other issue I have is I've also brought this up to the city. I submitted a petition back in December. I was told on 7th Avenue, I have requested, and I got the petition submitted, to have speed bumps on that road. That is my road. It is a one-way street. People go 30 plus miles an hour up that road. There's kids on that road, and something needs to happen because I have seen numerous kids almost get hit on that road because we aren't doing anything on that one-way road. There's, like I said, a couple concerns I have with you guys. When I spoke to the city about that, they told me, oh, well, as soon as we are done building these apartments and building these food trucks, we can address that matter. Well, personally, guys, I don't think food trucks is a priority. Protecting our citizens is a priority. Protecting our kids is a priority. That is including helping these kids in these neighborhoods that are playing on their bikes and things, that cars are running up and down the road, cops going backwards on these streets. Like, this is not okay. I understand what you guys are trying to do here in making Midvale better, but these apartments are ridiculous. We don't have anywhere for these kids to go except for playing on these roads that they're going to get hit on. We don't have any community stuff. These apartments are $1,500. Nobody can afford that. This is historic Midvale. This is not downtown Midvale. That is what is happening here. Why do we not have funds to be able to make a dog park? Why did we destroy the basketball court over here that the kids were playing on to build more apartments? What is going on? We have funds for all these things, but we don't have funds to make this a better place for the community, like a community garden, somewhere for these kids to go, to stay out of trouble. All we're doing is building these apartments. This is not okay. Like, I literally have seen kids that live up my road almost be hit several times because they have nowhere to go but on our road to play. This is unacceptable, okay? I apologize, I'm getting a little upset. I appreciate you guys listening to me. On 8,000 South, 480 East, there is no school signs. I spoke to Roland the other day. When you are going underneath the underpass coming westbound, there is the one sign right before you hit the second crosswalk. Coming eastbound underneath the underpass, there is no signs. The only sign that is there is the end school zone after the crosswalk, and it is covered by a citizen's tree. There's no flashing lights. There's no school zone signs. There is for the second crosswalk, but there is not for the first crosswalk on 8000 South, 480 East. I was coming down that road the other day, and I almost watched the cross guard get nailed because the people were not slowing down, not realizing it is a school zone. School is out. The free lunches and breakfasts is done, but school's about to come into play. And like I watch people go up and down those roads hardcore, and because there's no signs. I didn't even see that sign that said end school zone until I passed it. But there is no other signs anywhere. Roland did say he was gonna go take a look and see what he can find. But he did say that because it's a high value dollar with the flashing light saying that this is a school zone, it has to be addressed to you guys. If anything else matters, we need to get those signs on that because that is right where the school is, the elementary and middle school is. That cross guard had to jump out of the way because the car was not going to stop. I am happy to pull in front of somebody to stop them from hitting a cross guard or a person, but I don't want to get in a wreck either. You know, and so these are things that we need to look at and address as a community to be able to help these kids, to be able to help us, to be able to have places to go. I'm currently in a court battle with Sandy City because I had my dog off of a leash, my service dog, at a park doing some training. I've had a gentleman call the cops on me at the park up the road that's a fenced, or not a fenced, and it's a on-leash dog park. I have to be able to train her off-leash on all different locations. I do not want to be harassed by unified cops because I have her off leash and I have her as a service dog. And this has been something I've been addressing since December. So if we could please look into the option of something at the top of 7th Avenue. We had the very top house up there. That could have been a dog park, but instead we're building another apartment. I don't understand why we're using all of our plot of land to be able to build apartments, not homes, not places for people to go. So if we can, I don't know who I need to talk to, who I need to follow up with. I've reached out to everybody I know too, in regards to the signs, in regards to the speed bumps, in regards to the dog park. I don't know who else to go to other than being told, well, we'll address this when all these other buildings are done. These buildings are not a priority. Like these, nobody can afford $1,500 apartments right now. And that's exactly what 6th Corner Avenue apartments are. Nobody can afford that. So I don't know where we're going with this or what we're going to do or how this is bettering our community, but it's not. This is not bettering us at all. Now, I will say all the beautiful murals that we are doing on the buildings, I greatly appreciate those. Those are beautiful. It has made the city look better. I've had a lot of people compliment that I've talked to that say that they passed through here. So thank you for making those changes and making the city beautiful in that way. Like, I would love to see more things like that because it does give the city more beautiful looks. So I appreciate your guys' time. If somebody could please follow up with me in regards to all the things I've addressed so that I can make sure I stay on top of this, especially for the kids. Thank you.
Thank you. This isn't generally a back and forth, so I'm not trying to turn this into a conversation. I do just want you to know we do have a fenced-in dog park on Adams Street, so it's on the other side, just right on the east side of the freeway.
I think that's
Around
what I said,
80
but I can't find where that park is. The only park that I can find is it's a little runway that's over by.
I'm happy to send an email, sorry, just with the recording online.
Oh, yes.
So we can follow up via email. On the school zone one, I don't have a boundary map in front of me. That might be Sandy, because you're referring to Union Middle School, I believe, if it's 480
I'm
East.
talking about Midvale Middle School and Midvale
Okay.
Elementary School.
Okay.
And like I said, I did talk with Roland.
Well, okay.
And I did discuss this with him just last week. He said to come into the city council meeting.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Mariah. All right, any other public comments? Seeing none, we'll move into the consent agenda with one item, consider minutes of July 16, 2024. Any discussion on that? Entertain a motion?
Mayor, I motion that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
The motion and a second. Any further discussion on that? Rory, if you would call roll, please.
Yes, Board Member Brown.
Yes.
Gettle.
Yes.
Glover.
Aye.
And Robinson. Aye.
That passes. Thank you. Move into our public hearing of the night. Consider amending the fiscal year 2025 budget for the Main Street Project Area Fund and Citywide Housing Fund. Hearing from Cody on this.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council, RDA Board. So we have a budget amendment that we'd like to propose, just adding to the expense accounts for two different funds. One is in the Main Street CDA fund, and this is a little bit procedural, but what we did recently was we adopted the second amendment to the purchase agreement for development of the basketball court. And in that second amendment, we agreed to reimburse the developer if they were going to put in a bulb out, which they did, that we would reimburse them for that up to $61,000 and change. And so we've approved that as an RDA board, but the budget does not reflect that. So we need to actually give ourselves permission to expend those funds within the budget, $61,763 for the reimbursement for the bulb out, which is in front of formerly the court, now it's the Canary. And then the other amount that we're looking to amend is in the Citywide Housing Fund. You can see the affordable housing incentives, right, kind of in the middle of the expenditures. We have budgeted $4 million for this line item, and we're requesting an increase of $2.5 million for that. And you will be hearing Maggie after me in the next item, discussing a little bit more, or a lot more about why we would want to do that. I think whether you were to adopt the approval for that specific or not, I think it makes a lot of sense to add an additional $2.5 million to the expenditures for affordable housing incentives. Recent legislation in the last legislative session, they mandated that redevelopment agencies, in using their affordable housing funds, that they're not allowed to have more than 5 years of fund balance, or redevelopment agencies will start receiving penalties for not spending those funds. And we're receiving about $2.9 million annually in affordable housing funds, and so that's about $10 million. And so we have $8 million in fund balance and what we can expend right now. And so spending our fund balance down, I think, is a really good idea, not just to keep in line with the legislature and that code, but also just to provide more opportunities for affordable housing in Midvale, and using that as a tool to promote development. And so those are the two items that we're looking to amend in the fiscal year 2025 budget. So I'm happy to answer any questions if you have them.
Any clarifying questions for Cody? All right, this is a public hearing. To entertain a motion to open up the public comment for the hearing.
Mayor, I move that we open public comment.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
All right, moving to public comment. Do we have any public comments on this item? Not seeing any.
Mayor, I move that we close public comment.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to close public comment. All in favor, please say aye.
Yes.
Aye.
All right, close public comment. Move into the action on this item, which is consider resolution number 2024-20 RDA, amending the fiscal year 2025 budget for the Main Street Project Area Fund and Citywide Housing Fund. Any further questions or discussion? I'd entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move that we consider resolution number 2024-20 RDA, amending the fiscal year 2025 budget for the Main Street Project Area Fund and the Citywide Housing Fund.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Rory, if you call roll, please.
Yes, Board Member Gettle.
Yes.
Glover.
Aye.
Robinson. Aye. And Brown.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Thank you. Moving to our action item, consider resolution number 2024-21 RDA, approving the initial terms for an affordable housing incentive through the Main Street Upper Floor Housing Initiative for the Black Pine LLC mixed-use development located at 7592 South Main Street, Midvale. Maggie.
All right, thank you. It's good to be here, especially to talk about more affordable housing. There we go. Thanks, Lon. This is in consideration of Resolution 2024-21 RDA to approve the initial term, well, you just said this, for an affordable housing incentive through our Main Street Upper Floor Housing Program. Just a quick overview, the Main Street Upper Floor Housing Initiative was approved in 2019. This is our second application to date. It's funded by our dedicated affordable citywide housing funds that Cody just went through. The program provides up to 50% of the costs related to either rehab or development of the residential units of a project. They have to be for households who fall at or below 80% AMI, and they must be mixed use and conform with form-based code. The goals are to use the funding from Jordan Bluffs and Bingham Junction project area and without repayment. Like Cody mentioned a minute ago, we're assisting developers in overcoming the multi-story development and parking related costs on small lots on Main Street. Of course, increase affordable housing opportunities, bring an influx of residents to Main Street, and add to the revitalization and economic development. Encourage more mixed use along Main Street, create a unique sense of place, even more specifically with the requirement to include a public art component, and meet the goals of our, the initiative meets the goals of our citywide housing plan and our small area plan on Main Street. And there's also the element of decreasing crime rates. So for this particular project, the specific or additional benefits are improving the north to south continuity on Main Street. As you all notice, there's a huge gap on Main Street, and this will fill that. This project also brings additional amenities to Main Street, including public art, like I mentioned. The RDA is generating about $1.9 million annually for affordable housing. Right now, like Cody mentioned, we have $8 million in our funds for fiscal year 25, officially now that you've approved that. And like he mentioned, we have to spend that money within a certain amount of time, or we have to put it to projects that maybe we're not as interested in. The projects, this particular project will achieve 11% of the required development, which to reach our Main Street CDA tax increment participation cap. That's a pretty big chunk. So the applicants are Jeff Beck with Black Pine. This is the group. They have quite extensive experience in financing multifamily development and real estate across the Wasatch Front from Utah County to Weber County. And this is an example of their projects. We want to point out that the designs are not similar to what would be on Main Street. We have to follow the form-based code, but these are pretty substantial projects that are of similar size and scope of the West Main project that we're talking about today. So this is a rendering of the West Main project. As you can see, it's completely in alignment with form-based code. It's going to fit in very nicely. This project has a total of 66 units. 50 of those we're proposing would be dedicated to be affordable units. There's sufficient parking that meets the form-based code, and there's retail space, about 7,000 square feet, and there's an option for 2 to 3 retail spaces, and on the corner there's utilities and amenities for a restaurant. Additional amenities include a common lounge area, a gym, a bicycle storage area, and then on the rooftop there's private and common sitting areas, barbecues, and a dog run. Here's another image. And here's a bird's eye view, so you can get a better look at, this is the first floor, so the retail spaces are there on the right, and there's those larger units on the north side, and then parking in the back. So this is everything I just went over, but that gives you a visual of the gap that this project will fill right there on 7592 Main. And this is just a breakdown of the project financing and what the applicants have requested. So the total cost of the project is about 19 million. The developer is bringing in about 4.2. The RDA incentive, we're recommending 6.2, and they would have to find additional financing, which this pre-approval is about today, which I'll talk about in a minute, of 8.8 million. The incentive amount that they've requested is 6.2. The percentage that would cover is 50% of the residential cost of the residential units. So we're looking at providing an average of a 60% AMI. This means that we're going to work with the developers to get more of a mix of AMIs. We would like to see 40%, 60%, and 80%. Although 60%, if that's the way the project works out, that would be okay too. But a diversity of AMIs would be great. Affordable units, like I mentioned, 51 bedroom units, and the term length would be 20 years. So right now the market rate for rent is somewhere around $1,600 for a one bedroom, plus utilities and amenities really add to the cost. So for this project, if it was 60% AMI, it would be $1,389. But there would also be a utility allowance, which would knock off about $50, $40 a month. And the amenities are included, so they don't have to pay for they wouldn't have to pay for parking or anything like that as well. So they'd save an average of maybe $336 a month. So just a little look ahead if the board approves this pre-approval. And this is similar to what we did with the court. I don't know if you remember, we did a pre-approval. This is needed in order for them to secure financing. The RDA is also not going to commit to financing a project until they have financing, so it's sort of a chicken and the egg process. So we're doing this pre-approval so that they can go out and get financing for the rest of the project. So after, if you approve this today, we'll release a pre-approval letter this week, and we'll bring back the final affordable housing incentive agreement for you all to review and approve on August 20th. If that goes forward, then the project will start around fall, winter 2024 and end spring, summer 2026. This is just going over again the pre-approval, why this is needed to secure financing for this project. Again, we'll bring back the terms for your final approval. This is not a guarantee or commitment to lend, loan, or provide money to the project. It's to get the financing wheels in motion. And I'll leave it up to you all if you have any questions.
I have a question. My ears perked up when you said dog run. Is this dog run, do you know, maybe Jeff can
Yeah, Jeff will be able to
answer size of it and whether or not it might be available to the public?
I'm Jeff Beck with the Black Pine Group and the developer on this project. To answer your question, I don't recall the exact size. It's on the rooftop. It most likely will not be available to the public from a safety concern from the tenant standpoint, but it will be available to the tenants. Other questions?
So it's got 66 units. Are they all one bedroom?
No, we have a mix. It's predominantly one bedroom. Most of the one bedrooms will be affordable, and then we have 2 beds and studios as well.
And is there any reason that we're not using any of, if my understanding correctly, these affordable funds, only the one bedroom will be affordable units, not the 2 bedroom?
Yeah.
Is there a reason for
Yeah,
that?
it's an economic decision. When you step up to a 2-bed from an affordable housing standpoint, it decreases. So it's just it's an economic scheme on how we came up with that mix.
Okay. Any other questions, comments for Maggie or Jeff?
One clarification. We expect, if this gets approved, we expect it to be done next fall, 2025. So.
All right. I would entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move that we suspend the rules and pass resolution number 2024-21 RDA, approving the initial terms for an affordable housing incentive through the Main Street Upper Floor Housing Initiative for the Black Pine LLC mixed-use development located at 7592 South Main Street, Midvale.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Rory, if you would call roll, please.
Yes, Board Member Glover.
Aye.
Robinson. Aye. Brown.
Yes.
And Gettle.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. No closed session tonight, so I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.